Oh, Kissay! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the LCO, delivered by Menulog. We're having a party and Rusty's not invited, but you guys are because it's Menulog meal time again. Guess what? It's time for you guys to win a $30 voucher to use on Menulog as well. Rusty, if you had a $30 voucher to use on Menulog, what would you spend it on?
Kebabs.
That's definitely not a party food. That's a post-party food, but that's okay.
I feel like
it was
I
your
just
choice.
want a kebab right
What
now.
would you type in Twitch
You
chat
asked.
to get that kebab?
I'd probably type menu pog.
You would, and that is the correct answer. So you guys in chat, type in menu pog. Let us know.
I want a kebab.
Let us know menu pog. Literally, just type menu
kebab.
pog, and you'll go in the running to win the $30 voucher, and you can spend it on what you want. It can be kebabs, it can be party food, it could be not party food. I don't know what's in your area.
Favorite kebab.
What's my favorite kebab?
Shish kebab.
That's good out of you. Anyway, it's actually
This guy's good.
I think it's National Melon Day somewhere in the world. Not too sure where, but I want to know your favorite melons. Mine is Skimmy's head.
Needs a bit of a haircut. But look, I tell you what. Get out the old chopping block.
I love how you just don't care about your hair enough that you just
Yeah,
we're
just let it
going.
go,
I
yeah.
just
We're
don't care,
going.
mate.
Yeah?
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Rusty, what's your
Yeah.
favorite melon?
Watermelon.
Yes.
Inside a watermelon.
Solid choice. Very solid choice. Huh? Skimmy?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the old watermelon.
Okay. Kitty, watermelon girl?
I think we need like a
rockmelon?
melon tier graph.
Okay.
Rockmelon? What else
Watermelon
is a
is
melon?
in its own tier.
It really is.
And the rest of the melons are at the bottom. And I'm allergic to honeydew, so no honeydew for me.
So would rockmelon be above honeydew? Would it be just, wait, so here's watermelon.
I think I'm allergic to rock melon as well.
Why?
Uh-oh.
My throat gets like all itchy when I eat it, so I just don't eat it anymore.
That would be a safe bet.
I like eating it though.
I would recommend not eating more rockmelon.
What we got?
If you're getting
20
types.
types of
Honeydew.
melon. I didn't know there's any more than 2.
What the
There's
hell
only two
is
that
number
matter.
2?
Read them out, read them out.
Trulius lenatus.
Oh, we're going bloody
Cantaloupe.
cantaloupe. That's rockmelon, isn't it? Isn't cantaloupe rockmelon?
Not according to this list. It says cantaloupe.
Watermelon.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it is.
It
Oh?
is.
Yeah,
of course
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
rock melon.
Give us.
Honeydew.
Honeydew,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wintermelon.
Oh.
Winter melon's good
Good.
for soup.
Cassava melon. Golden Beauty, apparently.
Just looks like if a lemon was a cake.
A Persian melon.
Yeah. Don't ask.
A Galia.
Gallio?
Galia.
Gallio melon.
Cucumis.
This one looks like banana. A snap melon.
Don't look like a
snap
banana
melon.
at all.
Like a bruised banana.
That
Show
does
the
look
people
like
and tell
banana.
me. Show them.
That looks
That
like a
does not look
pawpaw.
like a banana. That is not a banana. It's a.
That's a banana. That's like a...
What
It's
kind
like-
of bananas
it looks
are you
like
guys
a
eating? I don't want
a
to. I'm
bruised
done.
banana, a bruised
Menulog
banana.
meal time
Calf,
is
man.
over. We're going to the game. It's Gravitas. It's peace. Let's talk about Gravitas first because they're a belter of a team and they're here to get that first up on the board today. Skimmy, tell me how they're going to do it.
Well, I really hope that Toppy can also lock in another phenomenal performance with a champion that he's comfortable on that gives him that carry star power. I've been really impressed by his last 2 games. Lenia, for me, slowly finding form. Just a bit of a shame that it's been at the end of the season. Dajong, obviously, has had his moments, and obviously Zoe is one of those champions amongst the likes of it. We're talking about Korean Zoe, maybe feeling inspired after what we saw from Yuri just then. Thomas Shen, Piglet. Obviously for Piglet, still going to be all about comfort, learning a new role, focusing on that shot calling. But for Thomas Shen, just give me pure aggression. Give me a Callista, give me a Zero, give me a 1v9 angle.
Okay, now talk to me about the other team. That's Peace, Rusty. And they need to bounce back after yesterday to finish off the split on a high note.
Yeah, they certainly have an interesting lineup of players to try and bounce back after their defeat yesterday, though, to be perfectly honest with you, right? Cheon is currently slated as their starting top laner. Lisa and Appy, the returning standard, and then Gunkrab AD, Violet support. So that is where they currently stand. Yesterday we saw them play. Appy played top lane, Gunkrab played mid lane, and Cheon played ADC. And so we can only assume that the roster they have submitted is not the order that they will be playing unless otherwise proven.
Okay.
An interesting thing about Peace, and this was said in our pregame too yesterday, is that Cheon can play top lane champions, Gunkrab can play most champions, he's switched between AD and support plenty of times. Violet play support. You never really know where they're all going to go until they've locked in that draft. And that's actually really annoying to draft against because it's just kind of confusing.
Yeah. It's kind of like yesterday when the Heimer got locked and we were just like, okay, well, who the hell's playing bloody Heimer? And we figured that one out when the game started. So, a little bit of a rough affair. Either way, how are Peace going to operate into Gravitas? Because Gravitas had a stunner yesterday, some really big team fights.
All right, look, so Gravitas' weak point is that they can't close games. However, Peace's weak point is they can't get to that closing game point, so they're just ultimate counters of each other. So whoever gets the better half will win, and that's what I'm sitting on.
Oh, this was when T-Shen did the old pop-off, had that big game on the Callista, was jumping around, absolute nuisance, living for years. Hopefully we get to see that again. Is there a world where Callista's makes it through draft? Is it still a pretty strong pick for the
Callista's still really good. It's just like at the moment there are so many things that deal with Callista that make it hard. Kitty needs to speak.
Kitty needs to speak.
I need to speak. Callista top?
Oh, you want Callista top?
I want Callista top.
Give me Draven.
I want Callista top right now.
Why not, actually?
Order up, Cheon. I'm ordering Callista top.
AD's everywhere. AD in mid, AD in top, AD in AD.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You got 3 of them.
Callista
Put them
top
everywhere.
does work. The Shy, I think, played it in 2018 or something, and like way back then started this as a trend. It just annihilates your top matchup level 1. They don't get to play the game.
Yeah. And what are Peace's, what's Peace's goal today, you reckon? Is it just to deny Gravitas from getting that win on the board? Do you think that is the true goal?
I would probably say so, because you are playing with essentially a bit of a pickup squad. Like, it's not your full 5, so to speak, and we could be having off rolls again like yesterday. I guess for me, the big thing would be trying to avoid what happened in Split 1 when Gravitas got 2-1 as a scoreline into Peace.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people hyped to try and see Gravitas get that win after yesterday with the ease of execution of a Wombo comp. I would love to see ease of execution really favor Peace here.
Okay, well, where are we going to be putting our eyes? Because I feel like up top for me is where things could get a little bit spicy, because Toppy has been playing goddamn insane for the last couple of games, and it really feels like he's trying to 1v9, but just is not able to complete the task.
Yeah, you look at his last 2 matches on your screen right now, 7-2-1, and it's a loss. He was 7-1 up until his Nexus was dying, and 11-1-7 in his loss yesterday to Mammoth. That is not the KDA of a loser. That is the KDA of a winner 2 games in a row. And so it does sting a little bit for Toppy, but he has been playing pretty well. And has honestly been playing decently well throughout the entirety of the split since he's joined. So he has kind of been like that shining light of the roster.
Yeah, well, you know, it was like that discussion we put out there yesterday, right? Was in that Mammoth Gravitas game, who are the scoutable players that may move forward. And it feels like at the moment, Toppy's kind of just leading the charge for Gravitas. There was obviously some arguments for some of the other players on the team, but at the moment with like Peace, there are definitely some, you know, scoutable players, but that wouldn't even need to be a discussion if they just kept that form up throughout the split.
I mean, to be fair, 2 of the players were scouted and went to NA for a brief amount of time, and they decided to come back. So me and Skimmy were on the NA hype train. So with Peace ending 6, it is quite the disappointing result. So hopefully they do figure it out very soon.
Well, we'll see if your boy Toppy's figured it out, because we have him for the interview. Toppy, mate, are you there? How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good. I actually can't see you guys. I'm playing off my hotspot, and I think a little bit of packet loss.
That's all right. Well, look,
That's
I
okay.
look pretty ugly today anyway. You don't want to see me.
It's okay. Although we are lagging and you're probably lagging, you're still looking as handsome as always, and I'm sure Twitch chat agrees.
Okay,
so
thanks.
please, can we get the Toppy copy pasta going on in Twitch chat? Because how do you gather so many fans? Because you've been doing so well in these team fights, and with Gravitas, although you guys lost twice, you know, that KDA does not prove at all.
Yeah, well, yeah, first about the fans, yeah. Like, I don't know what's happened. I think it's like a meme at this point, because we're so bad.
Aww,
and, like, it gives you something to talk about during our games. It's like, I mean, I don't mind it. I go back, like, watch the VOD. Us getting pissed on. It's like, chat spamming my name. It's pretty funny.
But at the same time...
yeah, last couple games have done alright.
Yeah, you've done
It looked too
immaculate.
late.
We looked at your
Great.
stats just a second ago, and they're insane. And look, I hope it's not the last time you play in the LCO, because going into next year, I feel like you've been one of the diamonds that has started to sort of excel for at least Gravitas, and I hope we get to see your face again either in Gravitas or somewhere else. But look, it would be beautiful if you could end this one on the W. After yesterday, do you have a lot of confidence going into today's match?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think they're somehow more boom internally than we are. We haven't won a game, so like if we can tilt them, should be pretty chill. But yeah, I think finishing 0-21, yeah, not optimal at all. So a win would be good for our mental.
Hopefully we do see history repeat itself and Gravitas grab that win up against Peace, and I will be in Twitch chat encouraging the boys once again, especially for Toppy.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry for letting you down yesterday.
Okay.
Feel bad for your prediction.
It's okay.
It happens.
It happens. Well, I'm going to let you go and have you prepare for your match, and hopefully we do get to talk to you once again very soon.
Sounds good. See you guys.
Oh, bye.
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 Bye. He was having a couple of issues.
He's
Hopefully those issues sort of, disappear before the game, or Gravitas could definitely be in trouble without their, what I would call, star top laner at the moment. Now, Dare fan vote time. Get those Twitch points in. Kitty lost all hers last game because she put them on the wrong team. Silly Billy. You guys, though, hopefully enjoy those points. Get some more. What?
That was Skizzo.
Skizzo?
Skimmy.
You laddie.
Skimmy is now last.
Kitty's like, why are you throwing me under the bus, bro?
Last, yeah.
Crazy boy.
I went for the wrong Kiwi. Should have gone for Chippies. Sorry, Matt.
You really should have. So you actually, now, if we look at the predictions, are last by 1 point, but you're still last. All of us, though, we've gone for peace today.
There's further you can fall. You don't want to. The dark times down the bottom.
You've definitely
Last
learned
6 weeks
from our mistakes as well. I'll be there for
You've
splits.
seen sunlight for the first time. Yeah.
So why have we all gone for peace? Is it just that we think that the grab 0-21 split is just meant to be at this point?
I'm going to be honest. This is probably going to be the only time we're ever going to see full peace across the board, because it's usually me going for peace because I'm totally unbiased. But up against Gravitas, although we want to see the 120 happen, I think up against peace, depending on where they put their players, it might not be possible.
Okay, now quickly, before we do jump into the game, it's the last time we're really going to be talking about these teams before we say goodbye at the end of the show. Quick highlights from these two. Any memorable moments? Mine for Gravitas are literally, probably the Nasus game from Toppy, but then also yesterday, just how good they looked in particular. Any highlights from Peace that anyone can remember?
If you remember the game they won by like 1 hit on a Nexus, where Violet wearing his like 17 layers of puffer jackets out of his chair screaming.
For sure.
I'll never forget that puffer
moment.
jacket yell.
Give me another one of those. Skimmy, you tell me yours in a second, because Champ Select's ready. Ladies and gents, we'll see you after the game.
No blue screening.
No blue screening. Today I can talk. And we're going to jump straight into the pick and ban phase. Gravitas up against Peace with Grav on the blue side, looking to lock down a really strong champion. And Peace have banned away Udyr.
Yeah, Peace have banned Udyr. They're not going to let Lenia have that one. They've also banned away the Zoe from Darjung, so a couple of target bans. And also the Kalista taken away from Peace. 3 ADCs. 0 Kalistas allowed. No lane cheese to be seen this time around. Also the Talia and the Gwen to follow. I feel like from this ban phase, most of the really good meta junglers are still there. Talia gone, so Pantheon perhaps isn't going to be the be-all, end-all OP first lock-in, but I think you can still look towards that with options like the LeBlanc still up and available. So I wouldn't be shocked to see Peace consider that style of play. Wukong, obviously the other jungler that you're expecting to see more of a first pick here of. And really, I think most bot lane duos are up here because Kalista's the only ban.
Pretty much. You can do really whatever you like. I would almost love to see Peace do what Pentiment did and almost go back to what made Peace so strong in their inaugural year, right? Just pure aggression, straight domination, teamfight experts.
That would be probably Ryze, Poppy in there first too.
Just lock in anything, yeah. That's going to give you that ability to roam, to be aggressive, to be a menace.
It's certainly not something that they're going to shy away from doing. Poppy does like having a bit of extra setup now, especially not having that Hex Flash available for this week of LCO. So you would potentially like, and while it can disengage quite nicely, while it can play utility super nicely, and one of the best things about Poppy you've probably heard to death from not just us, not from just coaches in interviews, but every region, is you just use your ult when there's an objective, and bang, they're gone. You win the team fight for free because there's one missing member, even though they've put the effort to walk there.
Yeah.
Alistar. I guess Silas is banned. This is kind of like the same thing as yesterday, right? You have to ban the Silas if you're going to pick the Alistar. If Silas gets Alistar ult, the game just dies on the spot. Silas just nukes Summoner's Rift. You don't get to play the game.
Yeah, he's 1v9ing and taking no damage because he is a raid boss. And from what we heard from Kitty, Violet plays a very good Alistar. Looked pretty strong yesterday, so I'm excited to see how it can fare in tonight's game as well. Zeri locked in. So Thomas Shen, having had the Kalista banned away from himself.
You know what would be sick here, though, is Yasuo. You go Zeri, Yumi, they just lock in Yasuo for peace.
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I meant for peace.
I was like...
Zeri Yasuo, not the combo I'm thinking
so
of.
Zeri mid.
No.
You want a bit of AP Zeri, do you?
Also Draven, because Zeri's been locked. So Nautilus is like meant to be a bit of an equalizer for this bot lane, I suppose, right? Like,
yeah.
I never look at Zeri as an early pick and think that is just goated. But there are things that can help in the lane. There's also things that your opponents can pick to dominate the lane that you will just get better than as time passes. This is certainly a spanner.
We've got that Karthus pick. Just like the Vayne tax, that has to happen at least once per split by any team.
Yeah, well, I thought that would be mammoth. But here we are. Pisa going to lock that one in. Lisa should be on the pick. There's definitely worlds where it goes to someone like Appy or Gunkrab down in bot lane. There's definitely worlds where our ADCs are mage players. Gunkrab, when he plays carry, plays mages. So just keep that in your mind. That's why there was a bit of hesitation when I saw the Karthus. My first thought is, but where is that going? If you've got a roaming Alistar, Karthus can hold it down. And even if you die, you get to clear the minion wave. It's a Karthus life for you.
It certainly is. I have seen a bit of it in the jungle as well, so potentially there is a world in which you say, forget about level 3 ganks, so there's early tempo. I'm just a full clear Andy. I will go first strike Karthus. I will hit that ult switch, and I will be farming up an absolute treat, hitting the jackpot, and certainly trying to 1v9. Piso looking to try and remove as many of those wombos now, right? Ornn, Malphite.
I wonder if it's like trying to prep for a Jace or an Aatrox for Cheon, by getting rid of full tanks in matchups. I mean, Aatrox probably has a pretty free time against the Ornn. The Malphite's the reason that I speculate that. You can't pick Jace if Malphite exists, and I guess it's technically an ADC champion, right, that gets to play that lane, so that's my thought. Again, it's really hard to predict in terms of drafts what piece they're going to do ever. They are a confusing bunch. Even if this Ahri is locked in, the confirmation would be there that it might not be a jungle Karthus, but it might still be a jungle Karthus. You've just doubled down on ability power champions instead of keeping the Karthus as like a sole AP source, which just means magic resistance is easier to purchase. So that's a little bit how you're going.
Sure.
And remember, Poppy exists. So where does that go if Karthus jungles, right? So that's why I think it's still Karthus bot.
Poppy top, mate.
Poppy top?
It's happening. Except we don't have Tien to play the Toppy Poppy. So,
in the Toppy.
In the Toppy. That's why I'm a little bit upset by it, but regardless, with the Fiora, which is really exciting. I want to say it was like one of his first games, right? When we had that whole conversation.
It was
like,
his second.
Yeah, please don't leash. Be the Chad. Just go into lane. Yeah. You're winning that 1v1.
Yeah, he played Fiora, he leashed, he got killed super early and went like 0-10 just from pressure that was put down onto him. Gravitas overall, as far as their composition is concerned, the Fiora is certainly the wild card of the grouping. Right now they have Engage everywhere. Yeah, you tell me where they're going.
Okay.
You tell me where they're going.
So how many guesses?
It is a Poppy top. That's what I'm
thinking it's a Poppy top.
It could be a Vayne top.
Could be.
You pick Fiora. Ghost Vayne top lane.
Yeah, okay.
Ghost Vayne top lane.
I'm a vibe.
Karthus Alistar bot lane.
Range matchups.
Poppy
in this meta.
Ahri mid jungle. We're just gonna wait. I don't know. Dude, I have no idea. Why not? Why not just pick for yourself? That's what maybe they've done that
really
instead.
Exciting for the viewers at home. We don't know where these players are playing, what role they're playing in, what champions they're playing.
No, I got it.
Oh?
If that's where they're confirmed, we got it. We got it right.
Okay.
Which is miraculous.
That's good. Our job is secure for another moment.
So it turns out the ADC player will play an ADC top lane. Shocker.
That's good.
Yeah, yeah. I actually, and to that point, I would not be surprised to see a Flash Ghost or an Exhaust, I suppose. But
Definitely not TP.
You really want to kite the Fiora, right? Like, you're all about getting the Silver Bolts procs off, 3 auto attacks apiece required, items required. And if you make a mistake against the Fiora, you can still die. It's very hard to, but you can still absolutely die, which is where I think Ghost shores that up quite nicely. In saying that, we're not sure exactly where he'll go yet. It is going to be the Karthus in the ADC position. Now, in regards to that Karthus in the AD role, I think more often than not, you'll see a first strike from him as well as an exhaust, right? And the goal is to just use ult off cooldown to make some extra money up until you've got items. And then get yourself into a position where you feel really good for those team fights. And Alistar can roam as well to try and give you more solo experience. And I think that's what we'll get from both supports in this game. Skimmy with an Alistar and a Nautilus, a little bit of roaming.
I would certainly imagine so, because you have got an Azir that would be quite keen to come online very early on to poke from afar to try and be a real menace into this Ahri, which is also going to be quite keen to roam as well. Fairly clear cut across the board in terms of what these teams want to achieve. The Fiora is going to want to split push up like an absolute menace. Potentially a bit of a hole breaker tech. Who would know? Maybe decides, I'm just going to try and split push the victory. I'm up against the Vayne. If I can win that cheeky matchup, you know, the Repose Condemn skill check in that regard, right, to get the uptime to do the damage. Hey, the world's their oyster.
I mean, in regards to that top lane matchup, yeah, if Toppy gets ahead as well, right, it could be their win con. You spoke about the Azir mid lane as well. For me, that's certainly, I don't know if we've seen Dajang play it first and foremost. I think this might be his first time on the pick. I have a memory of saying, why is no one picking Azir in O? So I think just no one was an Azir player. So this will be the first time in my mind that we get to see Dajang on the pick. And if this is something that he was able to play early in the split, this is something that helps a lot, right? Level 6, you're able to play around your jungler. And most of Lenia's champion pool has been junglers that aren't the best at engaging, yet he has the Wukong this time around. So it feels like Gravitas in their last draft of the split, last draft that we see of them this year with these players, have found a lot of good things. The question mark for me is the Zeri and the Nautilus. But if that's caveated with they're going to be constantly roaming supports, and the Zeri is solo, it's pretty hard for a Karthus to lock down a Zeri. She should be fine to kite out and just farm through the lane. And Zeri's also very good as like a solo lane ADC champion, right? Has been nerfed from those bruiser builds, but can absolutely be seen like that. So maybe that's how that works. Yeah,
just had the ability, right, to be safe and dodge across the wall, right? If you ever get ganked upon, right? A big reason why at one stage when the champion first came out that you could just play as a solo laner. So I like the idea. Obviously, as you mentioned already, that bot lane should just be a haven for farming up a ton of experience. And it's going to become what I would imagine to be the Jeff Bezos variation of the Karthus, right? You are just dropping bombs, farming up gold, getting super accelerated, and you kind of just like, Requiem, it's a dance party, I'm winning the game.
Can't associate Jeff Bezos with that as the first comparison to the composition.
Why not, mate?
You could have said making money.
Nah, dropping bombs, mate.
A lot more powerful than that.
He's getting it done.
Oh, dear. He certainly is.
That's what Karthus can do.
Going to the moon.
Yeah, he's going to the moon.
Going to the moon, mate.
And he's flying to the moon.
Flying in space.
That's why it's called First Strike. Yeah, absolutely.
Bezos made a spaceship that could land, didn't he? He was one of the...
Was it him? No, I feel like it was Elon Musk.
Elon Musk has got one that's done like 20 trips already.
True.
Yeah.
One day we'll be flying around the world.
Don't know why.
What do you reckon?
Hey. Guys, how you doing? Guess what?
What?
It's time for a dare. That's why I'm here.
Okay, Let's all watch you, Mac.
No, don't watch me. Now you put me on the spot, Skimmy.
Oh, no, the pressure.
You saw what happened last time I tried to drink a dare real quick. I put it everywhere. There was a mess. How about you watch me and watch me do a great job of drinking?
You got to watch me whip,
and
right?
Tell me
you got to whip, and then you get the chat happy.
Yeah? Tell me how proud you are of this big old swig, hey? Ready?
Oh, no. Not proud. Not
I like
proud.
how when Mac drinks, because he has a mustache, he has to drink it like this.
Yeah.
Hey.
Every time.
What if I've always
You've done him
drank
dirty
like
there.
that?
You've done him so dirty.
I've exposed
I just like
the
to give my dare a big kiss while I drink it. Why not?
Wait, can we get a clarification of who's playing bot lane and who's playing the toppy?
Yeah, it's Trey on top, I think.
It's Guncrab Violet. Guncrab
Vayne?
is the Karthus.
In bot lane.
Violet is the Alistar.
And it's Vayne top.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it is
Vayne
Vayne
top.
top.
Channel Vayne top.
Oh, so we're still getting Poppy jungle even though Hex Flash is disabled. So I wonder how that will affect Lisa in the jungle, because we don't really see Poppy ever picked if it's disabled for a Hex Flash. And have we ever seen Dajang on Azir? I think we have. one
No,
time?
because you brought it up, and I was like, oh, I feel like I have. But then I checked his notes, and it just doesn't show up. I mean, we've seen things like Oriana. Obviously, yesterday we saw Victor. But like scaling champions in that regard haven't really been his forte.
How's Vayne go into Toppy on the fee?
It really depends on jungler and whoever gives top lane more attention, because in terms of when Vayne is picked in the top lane, it's very resource heavy.
Yeah.
If you don't give it enough ganks, it falls behind and it becomes useless. You're a 4v5, it doesn't mean anything. But if Fiora gets behind, then it also doesn't mean anything. So it really depends on the jungler. We can't say that it will be a very significant skill difference, but I think if the Vayne plays it correctly in a 1v1 traditionally where the junglers don't exist, the Vayne should always win because you have that range on the Fiora. But will he get babysat by Lisa is the question.
Yeah, that's the real question. Is Fiora going to be the win condition here, or are we sort of looking towards the Azir and kind of what De Jong can do on that?
The thing is, right, like, if Fiora is not your win condition, then Peace are still going to have Vayne as their win condition.
Yeah.
And so Fiora has to be your win condition now, because if you ignore that lane, you lose.
Okay.
So the answer is yes, Toppy will be the win con up until the point where Azir, or the Karthus for the other team as well here, if Peace gets enough money in the pockets to just carry themselves.
I guess right now it's a test of Lenia, everything he's learnt all season, and it needs to boil down to this point, right? Because he's had a couple of lackluster games, especially in terms of his ganking. It's gotten better as he's been able to play some more champs that he's comfortable with, but he's played a bunch of Wukong coming up to this point now, so he's definitely had the reps, and he really needs to give that prio towards the top side of the map, and now's the kind of chance where they can flex the knowledge that hopefully they've learned over the split.
And something else that's really important to mention for Peace is that they have 4 AP champions in, three AP champions in the bot side, where if it does ever get to a 4v4 skirmish, if the Poppy isn't ahead enough, which I doubt the Poppy will build lethality unless Lisa's a bit freaky like that, which I've seen him go that build.
Really?
They don't have enough AD damage to make up. So if the Wukong does decide to build Emma and the Poppy isn't ahead for these team fights and Vayne isn't included in these team fights, then it's going to be extremely hard for the Ahri and Karthus to do damage, especially when Ahri's really weak.
Yeah, I feel like, look, big old Crabbles playing on that Karthus. I've definitely seen Karthus work in bot lane before. Do we know if Gunkrab's been solid with it, or...?
I mean,
we know he plays mages.
He's a mage gamer.
He'll play Xerath, he'll play Ziggs, he'll play most mages bot lane. We know that he can play the Karthus. It did exist in a world where Gunkrab was a starting AD back in 2019.
That was a defining factor when they'd swap in himself and Violet, right? You're the mage player, you're the hard carry player.
Is it a first strike angle, or is it a Dark Harvest angle? What do you reckon?
We spoke about this a lot.
My Jeff Bezos build, bro.
It should be first strike. It should be first strike.
Money,
I have great news. It's time for liftoff. It's time to jump on into the game because we're back, we're ready, and we're all in the right damn lanes. And we're going to jump into our lane, which is the green room. Boys, have fun.
Thank you very much, you two. Yes, let's kick back on into this game. Draft has been resolved, lobby is underway, and we are ready to kickstart game number 2 in the final week of the regular split here. Split number 2 of the LCO. Well, I'm pretty excited for this one because it really could be a repeat of what happened back in split 1 when Gravitas did manage to get those wins over Peace. I guess the big question now is, do they feel the pressure? It's in your last game. You were agonizingly close to getting that victory yesterday up against Mammoth. But that victory is snatched away from you. And I guess that is the question I asked to yourself there, Mystic, is there any pressure, despite not being in playoffs, to try and end on that biggest high note?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we've held ourselves to a much higher standard than we've shown all split. And so, yeah, definitely a lot of pressure to, hey, come out, get one on the board, right? Because, of course, everyone wants to put their best foot forward going into the off season. And so, yeah, definitely a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that off-season, because obviously going into it now, you have a bit of a chance yourself, the support staff, the players included, to reflect on the year as a whole. So have there been any memories that really stick to the core values that you're proud of, or that you look back on quite fondly?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're about to be 3-3 versus Peace for the whole season, so yeah, that'll be nice to look back on. The win over Kanga, of course, and then just I think when I look at the season cumulatively, especially this second split in particular, we've had close games against pretty much everybody, even though we haven't been able to pull them out. So I think we probably have the largest improvement from start of split to end of split, even if it didn't necessarily end in wins. So that I'm pretty happy about.
Well, that's fantastic to hear. Well, we'll see how you can fare in this final game of that season. I wish you and the boys the best of luck.
Thank you very much, guys. Y'all be good.
All right, full invade start here from Lisa. Escorted through most of the members of Peace, right? Violet standing there at level 1 with the sweeper. Piglet did spot this, however. So if you were Lenia, you should have the information that your entire red side is gone. And you've also seen Poppy cross from red all the way to the Krugs. And so Wukong's next move is to go into the enemy red side jungle. And here is the question. If you go for that play and you get spotted on a ward, do you get countered? Do you get stopped? Because as it stands, he's just shown and decided to gank mid instead. As it stands, the Vayne is then going to be isolated in a solo lane. Charm's going to connect mid. Lisa's just going to put his face in, right? He's going to cross over. What does Lenny do?
Yeah, Lenny's in a really big
There
spot
is
above there.
literally no jungle camp on his side of the map. Lisa's about to confirm that it is all gone, and he has 6 camps to go back to. If he controls the Scuttle Crab, Lenia has lost the game from his first clear alone. He's not supported. Top has priority. What do you do?
Well, let's see what Peace can do in the 2v1 to try and get this Vayne on nice and early. A flash headbutt straight into that wall. Condemned as well, and that's first blood. You just love to see it.
Look at the wave that's gone. Lenia's gone into the enemy blue side jungle to try and take what he can, but he's been forced out of the top side of the map. If the win condition is the Fiora, if the win condition for Peace is the Vayne, then you cannot afford to neglect it. It is
Violet.
Yeah, Violet going to see if he can find him with this blue buff. Might get a smite. There's no smite there for Lenia.
Oh no.
He smited the Scuttle Crab from the looks of it.
No, Rusty.
If Violet can reset this or force it away, he'd be laughing, but it seems like blue's going to be confirmed. 3 members of Gravitas are required to give Lenia 1 camp, and at the very least, he'll have the Raptors and the Krugs to go back to, but my god, he is in troubled waters.
That was a very lucky bailout. And I suppose the big question for me before that play really took place is, why did he show leading into the Raptors if he was just going for a potential gank in the mid lane in the first place, right?
Yeah. He just, like, the issue is he had no priority in mid lane, which is odd for the Azir lane first and foremost, right? To be pushed in like that.
Sure.
And then the Fiora versus Vayne is so volatile. The wave must have been set up from China. You'd have to watch that back for multiple waves to see it set up. But being ranged into a melee champion, you have the luxury of building a crashing wave. So you do tend to naturally have the first move for moments, and he didn't feel safe invading. The issue here, and you saw that ward placed by Toppy just then, of necessity, he is lucky that Poppy can't have Hex Flash, because you can get around that ward with 0 issues.
Yeah.
You just go straight back top lane right now, and this wave is stuck. And if this ends up being a kill, uh-oh.
Oh no. That may just be glimpses of what we saw from Toppy's interview before. Living life on the hotspot. Maybe having a few network connection issues. And, I mean, as soon as we saw the Fiora stop for a few 2 seconds there, you're thinking, something's not right here. So that's probably the one lane you cannot afford to have any issues with.
Yeah, that's a really tragic circumstance. Looking like a little bit of a hotspot Hank moment there. Already in a bad situation as far as his lane is concerned, right? And then you just add that little bit of extra damage onto it and things go from bad to unbelievably bad. We haven't really spent much time looking at top lane other than the dive and the waves that are now building and crashing at such a volatile place. But the rest of the map otherwise still going fine for Gravitas, all things considered, right? The thing that you can't see on your screen right now is, as far as farm is concerned, mostly ahead, mostly in a decent position. We'll get back into the game really shortly, and you'll be able to see that anyway. Mid is at least, you know, a wave ahead with a teleport advantage, right? That's huge. Bot lane, 7 CS. Not showing the exact wave state, but 7 CS is really sizable early. It's an even wave.
Straight into that lane state. Let's see what it does look like. As a headbutt pulve lands onto 2. Gunkrab just continues to land damage from afar. And will lay waste to these enemies once he gets a few of those items online nice and early.
Still fighting.
Trying to decide where we actually turn our attention to. Is Violet's going to go in. He's been ignited. He goes in with the last bit of health. No, he's going to fall on down. That is the wall of pain. And can they find death with it? Lisa. Oh, that's a great knockback. And yes, it does deny the hook away, but there's just no damage.
Did Lisa use his W to close distance instead of stopping a hook to a wall? It seems like that has been the undoing of them here. And their opportunity to find the picks, find the kills. Flash still available from Piglet in the end, regardless.
James is taking a 2v1.
Chaeyoung, yeah, he's legitimately winning. He's ulted.
He's forced a flash
Oh,
out
he's
as
feeling
well.
it.
James
Vein spot
Kane.
diver.
Oh no. Decides against it in the end. And
Guncrab's
Guncrab,
dead.
well, he had no mana last we checked in. Must have stepped up for one more wave. Must have been close to an item break point and has been punished for it.
Doesn't even get many minions. The wave's going to crash. That is a terrible death for Guncrab. Especially having the flash there. It seems like Piglet is hitting these hooks, if there's one thing you take away from this. Piglet has defaulted to the Nautilus more often than not, but these hooks are connecting. Thomas Shen been very good in his early laning phase. Lanier's level 4 here.
It's the run back, and Chan does have flash.
Has boots too as well.
Can just tumble with the last bit of mana
no,
that he
you
has. He's
don't.
keen.
No, you don't.
He's got no vision now. Has to flash away.
Oh,
He turns
no,
to stop
he's not.
instead. There's the parry. Oh no. We are cycling through cooldowns, jumping in, and ultimately Peace lose in the end.
He just never had mana. He never had mana. He was trying so hard to kite. Ghost was 5 seconds away. Quickly touch on the summoner spells as well. We didn't say this. We said we hoped he would have it. We didn't get to actually check in on it. Is the Ghost Flash for Vayne? Didn't need to take the fight, but saw an opportunity to take the fight, and that's fair enough. Bot lane really is the place that's currently just out and out losing for Peace, and that's even with a jungler in attendance down here. Consider that this game started with such a comprehensive out jungling as a result of the team of Peace, right? Priority in top and mid. And 6 camps to take. Lenny is somehow basically even in farm, now going to take away some Raptors from his opponent.
He got them in the end.
How'd we get here?
He's done it. Vision down, and Lisa only now going to find out, hang on a minute, where are my chicken nuggets? They've been taken away from that Happy Meal. And we'll just have to find Love somewhere else on the map as he's rushed those tier 2 boots. Obviously for the Wukong, has the Sheen instead for a little bit of that skirmishing potential, a bit of an insight as to what we saw topside before.
And you know, the sad thing about that topside is that Lisa had to gank bottom because they've just been losing, right? There's constant fighting down there. Lisa tries to go for a gank. Look at what's happening top lane during all of that, right? It's a Wukong who lives top and is almost being 1v2'd by Chaeyoung. If a Poppy's there, they just die. But didn't get the chance to play towards it. Nice little condemn. Stops the Silver Bolts proc, but can you stop Violet and Lisa without that condemn, without that riposte available? The answer is quite clearly no, as he has exited the arena.
I don't really think they mind, because look at the wave that is going to be denied if the Peace can stand up very aggressively. Gravitas have to do something. They're going to try and route them through the top half of the river by bringing in Piglet, forcing Dajong to rotate as well. Polv onto Toppy, looking to try and get those 3 stacks of the Silver Bolts on him once again. Get his health bar a little bit low as he dashes in with the riposte, preemptively expecting that condemn. Dajong said, you know what, I'm going to go and just blast cone in here. Here's the Requiem from the bottom of the ladder. And they come in looking to try and pat these members low. Appy gets one. He's looking for a second, and he will find it.
I mean, Lisa was feeling like a gracious god today. Almost gifts them all the burden of staying alive with 0 HP after they've been completely done in by Peace. But Appy will find the resets, will find the kills. Toppy will find himself in a spot of bother.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird spot to find yourself in. Violet potentially heading in with a big headbutt away, and ultimately just tanks up the turret and says, there you go, Chaeyoung, have 2.
And it's really difficult to play that out. Toppy, I mean, best case scenario is you hit a riposte and you somehow dash away. We'll watch this fight one more time because Lisa kicks this off with a flash, slams Dajong into the wall. Violet combos all of them. Ari Qs all of them, and Karthus ultimate connects. Lisa says, get out of here. Appy says, what do you mean, get out of here? We're going in. And Toppy is caught.
Something was caught. And now the attention for Gravitas looks to go back to where it was, finding a bit of success earlier, right? Back into this Thomas Shen Zeri hype train. Can we look to try and punish this Karthus before it can just look to do that? Farm up solo experience, solo item, you know, gold acquisition, but then just be a menace with this global ult.
Appy on the hunt. Not quite going to find the charm, but yeah, like you said, the ultimate that's global is obviously going to be nice if you stay isolated in this 1v1. That is an advantage that Peace will always have if both ADCs are sitting down there farming. And right now, it does feel like Violet has been pretty much unleashed on the map. We said this had happened from draft alone, right? Like, you're expecting both supports to roam, but it feels like a distinct advantage belongs to Peace. Being able to play that roam out with a very strong mid laner. And a sad, sad top laner.
Constantly beelining towards top lane, saying you've locked in Fura, that will not go unpunished. Lisa here to deny some minions as well in the, or rather some monsters from the jungle, as Lenny now realizes, well, that's probably gone.
We've
just
been
waiting for this wave to crash.
We've been seeing a fair amount of Fiora and Jax through the rest of the world. Jax is actually one of the namestays that has really popped up through 12.14. a little bit earlier as well, but through 12.14 in particular. One of the big reasons for that is you've been seeing a lot of Gwen. Sure. And Jack seems to be a natural answer to Gwen. Fiora also has champions that it can answer and is usually not seen outright blind. There are some teams that I have seen, I think it's the LEC from memory, that do just pick the Fiora because they're so good with it. And Fiora is a really high skill expression champion, in the same way that Vayne could be considered a really high skill expression champion. But while you can express a lot of skill, sometimes you're limited in the amount of skill that you can express. I would say Zeri's the same, but constantly we've seen people pick Twitch and just annihilate the Zeri and not let them get to play, not let them get to express that skill because they're too far behind too early. That's another case of what we're seeing from Toppy.
But it can be the beauty of draft, right? If you're looking to try and lock on one of those really insane champions.
Some things just checkmate you.
Certain conditions have to be met, right? Otherwise you are put in a bit of a checkmate position, as you say. Well, Dajong also with the first strike will find a little bit of value there, going into Violet, harassing him off that Pixel Bush as they look to try and contest for that second Drake spawning. Peace got the first, second one is the Infernal. But they've got to try and get them hands back on these minion waves first and foremost.
That was a sad minion wave. To watch all of those minions not be last hit. Oh, no. All right, we're good. Guncob saved it. Mythic done as well here for the Karthus. That Leandri's is a big spike.
Huge.
Now that Leandri's, of course, stacks as well, there's no fears, no reservations for that one. Drake, very much on the cards. Piglet sees it. I don't think Gravitas acknowledge it as real. I'm not sure, perfectly honest with you, I'm not sure when that point in the game is that things become real for them again. Dajong needs not just the one item of the Leandri's, probably needs the second. Lenny needs to finish a Mythic and start team fighting with that, right? The Divine Sunder is really nice for all of the skirmishes that Wukong takes.
Yep.
Poppy mid.
Great stun up against the wall there. Complete counterplay into Dajong, who gets exhausted from the unsealed spellbook of Appy. And then they say, Gun Crab, it's time to drop the pain, but it's just not strong enough yet.
Definitely does rain hell from above, but Azir is going to be one of those champions that has magic resistance taken in his runes. 48 magic resistance is enough for now. No Sork Shoes are going to do too much just yet. Survives with the potion. And Gravitas will lose pressure in mid. They will lose a lot of HP because the Toppy still gets here with a bit of health missing. Like, it was not insignificant by any means, but just not going to be enough for the kill. That's twice now I've seen Lisa engage ganks by using the W just to close distance for the wall slam. Means that he doesn't have the utility to stop them from getting away. So if they're able to actually cycle through, get abilities off, then suddenly they do have some smooth sailing for escaping.
That's how he's trying to make this Poppy pick work at the moment. Just full movement speed, much like this Alistar, which is running at Mach 10 speeds. Super in your face about it, getting bullied out by a very under-leveled support, but nonetheless still forcing pressure, allowing Chaeyoung all the space in the world to try and operate and be that threat.
Gravitas now deploying towards their top side of the map as well, looking to protect Toppy at this inner turret. Now they choose to play this one out right there. Azir's got a flank. Piglet is here. They know where Dajong is, though. They're looking at him. In fact, they're both looking at each other. And this is the amount of effort required, Skimmy, to give Toppy a wave.
It's not sustainable, that's the stage
hard
short.
life out here.
And look at this, Piglet has been caught, stuck between a rock and a hard place. Lagging between, indecision. Do I play for top? Do I go for mid? It's the depth charge and a flash hook, but an instant flash away from Chen. Still knocked up on top of a glacial field. He's going to find a blast cone, and he can just disengage away. He knocks Toppy onto his head. The grand challenge has been laid. That is the Emperor's Divide, but it does absolutely nothing because they go into a stasis effect. Another hook, another bit of CC, Gravitas and another 2 kills found by Gravitas. Make it free. Everybody, every carry, getting amongst the score sheet there.
Yeah, the top laner and mid laner of Peace have fallen down. And Gravitas will give themselves a bit of early team fighting advantages here. Thomas Shen joins the fray, joins the fold, and the difference that makes is certainly noticeable. And that was a fight that Peace try to kick off. They try and kick it off by finding Piglet that results in their top laner being caught. When all is said and done, they are still looking for Lisa, but he's looking for the red buff and doesn't actually care about them.
Yeah. And
that's the reality of it, which is why I didn't even give you that opportunity, because he's really just there for a smite to push him out of his own jungle in the first place.
Hits them with the smite and says, you'd be lucky.
Yeah.
Just kind of walks away and says, you're wasting your time. You really are. Back away to the Herald, you should go. Second one in this game.
Time wasting. Piglet needing to reset for quite some time now, chooses to stay for that red buff, chooses to try and stay for the Herald, and actually gifts the Herald over.
Yeah, I mean, he had no wards left, no real sustain left from his blinking health bar, so what starts with him invading all starts with him here.
Yeah, so they find him, they lock him down. Again, acknowledge that Violet and Lisa are not a damaging duo. They do well to get him to half health. That's really all you can ask for. And then quite simply, Nautilus finds his target. Glacial Augment always going to connect just because you are Nautilus, and the ultimate is confirmed to be guaranteed. And they've got the numbers. They've had Tomashen here from the get-go, and they get their first kill, and that continues. Quite simple for Gravitas. There's not actually anything to be super excited about how they played that. They did it well. They had their numbers, and Peace are the ones who fumble the ball by thinking a Poppy and an Alistar can kill a tank.
Certainly can't kill them, but they can get them down to 50%, but that's about it. Crab's still farming up an absolute storm here. Has the exhaust ready to go, has the flash, can look to try and be a real menace if they do put up a bit of a contest for this third dragon. Peace would love to try and get that one online as quickly as possible.
Look at the Tomashen. Look at the big dog. After those kills, there were shutdowns as well in there.
They were big
shutdowns. Like 500 or something on Appy. You take those, you run away with it, you find yourself 1,000 gold up on the next person on Peace, which means he's just knocking at the door of having a Phantom Dance for 17 minutes in. Surely there it is. Lost his bounty though, believe it or not, because they're still behind in gold.
They are, yeah, they did have the gold lead at one stage in this game. Peace have managed to wrangle it back in their favor. Now fighting for control. Lisa waiting in this bush, waiting to see what Gravitas' next move may have been, with Toppy and Lenia now having flipped the map, playing in the bot half. No teleports, so everybody's grouped up and ready for this one.
Yeah, it's going to be 5 members strong from the forefront of this one, right? Waiting on Darjung to get into the area. Herald's going to be summoned bot lane. That'll occupy Toppy. And they are just going to kick this one off. Third Drake of the game, Skimmy.
A lot of single target damage is what Peace can do right now between a Vayne. And certainly between that and the Carthus as well. In goes the hook. Look at trying to steal this one away. They will not find it. Violet literally knocks up 4 people with that pulverize. That was beautiful. But now a shutdown comes out again for Tomashen. That's all he gets. That's all he farms. That's all he does. The charm is there. And he is just gone. Fantastic play there from Ari. And Appy wants more. He found a double kill with his ultimate last time, but this time it's denied.
Yeah, good flash by Darjung to make sure that he stays alive. Chaeyoung with a very wide flank here might find himself a Toppy if he's not careful. He was careful, he stayed in the bush. Not your average Vayne player, believe it or not. Most Vaynes are already at the enemy nexus saying, where is my team? Chaeyoung will stay reserved, also has the Immortal Shield Bow completed, and the team is supporting this Vayne. Like, even though Chaeyoung is queued for top lane, he is still the AD carry on this team. They are supporting him at all times, Lisa and Violet alike. You'll see this fight one more time. Appy definitely the star of the show. Gunkrab being engaged on makes no difference to a Carthus player because he's going to flash in and say, I'm happy to die here, and actually just rain death from above. And meanwhile, Appy gets those resets. Chaeyoung just quietly achieving throughout all of this as well. Nicely played team fight by Peace, all things considered. And a good little flash from Darjung over the Q2 to make sure that he survives.
When that rip back on the orb was coming, certainly would have been in trouble with a fair bit of big, true damage. Well, Lenia is lucky to be alive there, Lisa. May have had the killer instinct, especially with the Chilling Smite active and ready to go. Decides against it in the end. And yeah, well, 20 minutes is what we are fast approaching. Peace, 3k gold lead, first to 3 turrets, and the first 3 Drakes as well.
And a full Gwynzoo's purchased just quietly from Chaeyoung after that skirmish. So he's a big boy. Working towards the death cap second here from the looks of it for Gunkrab as well. Spoke about this in draft. We'll reiterate this fact, but Ari and Carthus being on the same team means that there's a bit of easy access to magic resistance, early itemization. When the enemy jungler is also a stun-based champion like a Poppy, then once again, Merc trades start to go up in value. You can see 3 of them across the roster of Gravitas. Even, cheap things like Hex Drinkers on certain champions, just cheap magic resistance could be quite nice to pick up for their overall composition, but this is where the Chaeyoung being fed effect comes into play. Can't build much to stop a Vayne from dealing damage.
You kind of just laugh and say, try and build a resist to this. Let's see what they can do though to try and shut this Vayne down. Play the steel caps. The boots of choice here for Toppy, who's been relegated to try and take that 1v1.
At this point, he's just a Fiora, isn't he? There's not much there. There's no wave clear there. There's not a lot going on for you and a good way to deal with this Vayne now that you are behind. But that's the gauntlet that you throw. You dare to take on an AD carry player in top lane, you know they're going to pick something that does damage. And if you win that gamble, you are a very large Fiora. If not, you are dealing with a very large carry player sitting in your lane, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, no doubt Chan must be loving life as it stands right now, realizing that, hey, I'm not actually playing in bot lane, but I'm playing my favorite characters. I actually get to feel like a carry.
And I was about to say this, but as a third item of choice, now that he's got his 2 core damage items, you could go tanky, right? Like, you just stop the Fiora from killing you, stop the Wukong from ganking you.
Stop the Randuin's, throw some
Game's
harp,
basically in that Vayne's mind now going to be wrapped up. Yeah, so it looks like it could be a Randuin's angle. I like that.
At some point, I mean, there's too much attack speed, right? Before the lethal tempo fully gets charged and ready to go. So, yeah, you just want durability. You want to live long enough to try and cycle through as many of those silver bolts as humanly possible, which makes a lot of sense. In terms of what we're looking at here for Gravitas, obviously yesterday was all about hitting those major ultimate buttons. There is still a little bit of that between the mid-jungle, you would say, here for Gravitas. I suppose a bit of that burden lays, first of all, with Piglet to try and land a depth charge to give them that ease of access, but very different comp, obviously, in comparison.
And there's Violet actually moving with Lisa here, looking for Toppy. Pushing him back, not going to commit themselves to the play. In fact, they're going to hit the minion wave just because they can. Oh, it's the drop. Baron on the card, Skimmy, but I don't think any team's going to go for it when there is a free tower to take, a free Drake to take, and it's a soul in 30 seconds. Why would you risk the Baron? Acknowledge as well that Peace, if they get a chance to hit Baron, have a Vayne, so they one-hit it. Always a risk for Gravitas to keep firmly in their mind, because that is a scary prospect.
We just saw how quickly they took down that Drake before as well, so certainly if you don't see any Peace members on this minimap, you're thinking something is a little bit fishy. I need to double check what is going on at either ends of that river. Trying to play for this mid lane control, but they overextended in the process. Instant flash pole from Violet there, locking down Piglet, blocking his hook, but no, it's there. Trying to dodge out.
Teleport Poppy. Bold teleport. He's just gone straight for the Baron. Says, all right, I've made the play. Oh, look, I've teleported in. Consider it a mistake if you want, but we're going for this. Teleport's going to be responded by Peace. Dajong has used his E to get to the pit. Peace 100% could look at this. Hard without the Hex Splash from Violet. Azir wall could go up. It's a 4K.
It could be absolutely massive. He's missed the holo. He's missed it. Violet, instant indomitable will. He wants to be tanky, but he's just shredded. He is just dead. Gunkrab still working to try and take that dragon, but he couldn't do it. Solo Rusty, he ran out of mana, and with the last stretch of mana, he hit the Requiem to say, Gravitas, go away.
He actually ran out of mana. He has a blue buff. I don't know if he completely ran out of it, but that Drake certainly looks like it hurt him. At the very least, is less than half HP Drake to disengage towards Gravitas. I think, unfortunately for them, it wasn't more kills, because that was looking like it could have been a fantastic team fight. That was maybe their moment in this game. Unfortunately, it was just the Alistar. Dajong still with ult, still with flash. Toppy.
Try and trot it. Instant flash away at the Emperor's Divide, breaking ankles, making you look silly, dashing and hoping that he can try and win this 1v2. He tried earlier into a Wukong, and this time he will just run away with his life intact. That was looking a little bit Gosu for a second.
Just for a second, but he opted out of it.
Yeah, he did.
Which is weird, because the last time we saw that play happen, he opted into it with no mana. This time around, had mana and a shield bow that could have been popped in combat. Doesn't choose to take the play. That's twice now we've been non-Vayne spotting Vayne. That just feels backwards, feels wrong. You know what I also noticed the other day, because I've been playing a couple of games of League with the new patch to get a feel for the Drakes, to see if, like, based off feel, it's more impactful. And I was chasing someone who had 2 Cloud Drakes and the Cloud Soul, and they would Usain Bolt. They're running so fast, so I don't get
records, 100-meter sprints.
What do you do? Like, my guy just runs. It's like, imagine in this game, right? Violet, 2 Cloud Drakes and a Cloud Soul with Moby Boots. It is a fast cow. You want to stop that guy from engaging? Look at him.
Yeah, 529 MS.
You've never seen a cow wiggle like that.
Oh, Charm is
got
on.
Drum and bass on.
Ultra Shock Laser. I've got the music queued up. Condemn against the wall. Piglet could be in trouble, but thankfully for him, Peace decided to back away from the play.
Also, Cloud Rift, so just keep that in mind. That's a fact of the way he moves so quickly. As highlighted by the observers there as well, there is a blue trinket inside the pit. That is something that P should be aware of, and Appy should just go and clear that one now, so all vision will be denied. And now the ball is in Gravitas' court. How do you get there? How do you deal with the Baron buff that could be done exceptionally fast by a Vayne?
All about vision control right now. Violet putting himself in a prime position to flank unspotted. Sitting on his own control wood. Vision is denied. Buying time for Toppy to come over. Has no TP. Has to get here the long way. Still onto the Baron.
Low.
Look at Violet wrapping around now. Looking for that play. He does have, well, the engage, but doesn't have the flash. Lisa spinning up the helicopter. Looking to try and knock back a key target. And that's one is going to go to waste. Lightning Crash comes out. Now Thomas Shen hoping that he can try and emulate some of those movement speed bonuses. Everybody getting knocked up into the air right now, but Chen's going to find himself a double kill. The Vayne is well and truly online. Violet's going to go golden, deny death for the umpteenth time this game. And it's a lone Fiora surviving.
Yeah, not enough here for Gravitas to actually win themselves the team fight. Try as Thomas Shen might, had the 3 items there. Alistar just stands front, presses ult and bodies him out. They've got armor starting to stack up. A Randuin's is there for Chaeyon as well. It's just so difficult as Appy sprints towards top lane. I can't get over how much faster you now move out of combat. Baron's free. Game is basically pieces to lose.
Certainly is at this point of the game with that 10k lead. Let's
look at Lisa,
check it
by
in
the
again.
way. This is just Baron. Gets hit by the Zeri W, is 1 hit before the fight starts. You can't ask for more if you're Gravitas, right? But Lenny is also so low himself. Then Akarthus presses R and you're like, that's certainly annoying. Piglet's still so squishy with his Nautilus. He doesn't have an Alistar ultimate. And Zeri doesn't have the percentage HP damage that the Vayne provides. And quite simply, they just cannot navigate the team fight if they're low at the start.
Both junglers certainly screaming for attention, but will not find it. Someone had to be burnt there by Thomas Shen just to keep Lenny alive. Otherwise, I do believe that Karthus Requiem would have been enough. And you can talk about ease of execution or the ease of itemization rather to try and shut down the amount of magic damage as a mid-jungle duo. But they've both got Rabadons online. They're both incredibly strong. And they are both packing a fair bit of a punch here as they rotate freely between any lane they want. And I mean, that definitely tricks the brain, like you mentioned, as to, am I safe or am I not on this next wave?
Yeah, where is safe when they just have such strong amounts of control inside the red side quadrant of the map? Gravitas, you can see, trying to branch out, trying to just keep this inner turret protected, but I feel like this turret is illegal. And they're starting to cop that vibe now themselves, but they put some effort towards it. Perhaps it's just to buy a little bit of extra time, slow down the Baron push. Peace don't have the best engage. They are very reliant on Violet finding an angle. He does, however, have the flash on that Alistar. So the windows do exist. And it is certainly something they can look towards.
I was keeping my eyes on Appy as well, who had been completely unspotted from the top half of the map. Sneaking his way in, waiting to see if anybody from Gravitas was teasing the idea of flanking themselves. But with the Baron push and still a minute of it remaining, you are now setting yourselves up for 2 waves crashing at once and looking to really split those resources from the side of Gravitas to claim that entry into the base to try and close out this game.
And Chaeyon really taunting Darjan, saying, come and get me. Alistar in the pocket, they're going.
Charm, Pulve, and then a slam against the wall by the Poppy. The Locket won't save you this time, Piglet. The Nautilus is dead, and that's one component gone from the engage that Gravitas crave.
Crab cops an absolute walloping there from the lightning of Zeri, but at the end of the day, it's not going to be enough to deter them. If another charm hits, the play can continue to happen. Chaeyon moving between lanes. We've also got an Elder up in 25 seconds. That's going to be a big thing to look towards here for sure.
Oh, he's just gone back to base and picked up a full wit's end as well. So he is keen and ready to go to showcase what he can do in this next big fight. Gravitas, they have no other opportunity. They've turtled as long as they can. They won't be given any time. You're down 10k. You're just going to face the facts. At least silver lining. Those inhibitors do still stand, but you've got to find a way to try and contest this next Elder.
Charm's on.
Charm is certainly on. Stun again. The riposte comes out late, but has it done enough? I don't know. The Requiem, Rusty. Boom!
And there goes Toppy. Fight continues.
Oh, no, Piglet. You don't want to see that. Oh, a flash charm. Chaeyon, he said, you know what? You want to see a bit of Vayne spotting? Let's zoom in with the observers as well. That's going to be Happy stealing away what could have been a triple.
Lenia wants to cut the wave, finds himself a gun crab. What's he gonna do?
Oh, you've been exhausted. Cheeky 1v1 takes place, but was it really a fair
Hey,
fight?
he got the wave.
He's got the wave, and he's burnt 2 flashes.
Did he save the game is the question. Do they have a minion that they can stand in front of and tank? They've got
minion.
one.
Look at the minion.
One little melee boy.
Appy, surely. You just TP to the minion.
Lisa has to tank both turrets again.
There it
Okay, they teleport to the minion. They're looking ahead.
TP to the minion.
The savior of peace. It's one melee minion.
That minion has won them the game. That is phenomenal stuff here from Peace. So low, the 1 million that dreamed, and it got it done. And Peace will look to end this season, despite not making it to playoffs. They'll be looking to end it on a win. As for Gravitas, the perfect split, but just not in the fashion you would have expected it to be. Inside the fountain, they are camped, and they are
the
distraught.
game.
They can't do much about this one, Rusty. It is just game over.
Nexus will drop eventually. Peace will get the win that they were after. The win that they always realistically had. Their MVP, 100% that melee minion. For just staying alive. Doing so much work for them. My earpiece is stuck, so I'm just going to put it back in.
I'm so glad our observers caught that, though. They were so invested with us in that 1 minion. We saw it, the zoom in, the TP. Beautiful stuff. Thank you very much.
You really love to see it, don't you? We saw an attempt at that. Remember Kanga pulling it early on in the split to get that T1 tower in mid? But this time, the stakes were ever so more great, and it was executed about 100 times better. So, Fido, take notes if you're watching. Of course, they're coming up shortly. This game, though, a scorcher, a belter, and a pretty close one for the first 15 or 16 minutes. Big Four, Peace really started to run away with it, making all the right macro decisions and, you know, stopping Gravitas from stealing away that Baron, really just showing up. And, of course, you really have to give it to Cheon. You really have to give it to all of Peace. Everyone playing their roles perfectly.
Everyone did play quite well, and like I said, this Vayne was quite the menace in top lane when all the resources were given towards this Vayne, and the blind Fiora, that's exactly what you would expect when you do blind the Fiora. So heavily punished by Peace, which is really well done in the draft. And I actually really enjoy Violet on support. I think he has been doing extremely well on this Alistar. He didn't look lost at all, and from a support's perspective, he was getting those flanks, and he did apply a lot of pressure onto the Gravitas carries such as the Azir and Zeri. So props to him as well, and I believe Guncrab was 0-10 at one point, so he's just support Karthus all over again, so that's great as well. And it does seem that Poppy without Hex Slash still works when you are just babysitting top lane.
Yeah, I mean, beyond just the babysitting of top lane as well, Poppy's still something that we've been seeing a little bit around the world competitively still. Hex Flash just makes it even better. Poppy's still a very nice pick for the moment. And I think overall, Peace it was a lot easier to play their team comp out early. They just picked the lane that was already winning, and they chose to win significantly harder. And poor Toppy just had to cop it.
They heavily chose the lane that was winning too. They had 4 players invested towards that top side. They weren't even really hovering mid that much, and then you just had Guncrab on the Karthus, farming up at bot when there wasn't a wave to farm. He was just taking that bot jungle as well and then sending it back to lane to sustain with the blue buff. So really well played in terms of how they managed to achieve the victory. They knew exactly what they needed to do. And then, look, that Soul, the speed, that cow, never seen one run faster than that.
I think we were looking at the statistics, and I believe the Alistar had 640 movement speed in the little quadrant. Without the quadrant, he was 550 movement speed. And Ahri, not in the little quadrant, was 477 base movement speed. So that's how cracked dragons are at the moment. So don't give dragon souls over very easily, because you definitely don't even want the enemy having Cloud Soul anymore.
Look, I feel like you don't really want the enemy with a Cheon on your team, and fortunately we have him for the interview. Cheon, how you feeling ending the split on a W?
Yeah, hello. I think we want a perfect ending with split. I think we did it.
You definitely did, and on that Vayne as well. So Vayne top is quite a special pick, I would say, coming out of you guys. So did you go into the game knowing that you were going to pick an ADC for top lane up against Toppy?
Yeah, we discussed about before. I think we said I want to play AD carry top laning, maybe Kalista, Lucian, Vayne, something. Yeah, and we ban Malphite.
Interesting. Well, we did have the Kalista ban coming through from Gravitas
Yeah,
because
so
they
they banned Kalista.
putting some respect to the name, Cheon. Well, obviously you guys are currently out of the running for playoffs. So what do you think of the team's progression so far for Split 2?
I think like it's very pity we not getting to the playoffs. I think everyone is trying hard, but some like team issues not get fixed. So yeah, it's quite sorry. Yeah, I think.
Well, there's always next year, and look, since you've been back in the team, Peace looked, better considering the role swaps and everything going on since yesterday. What are you thinking about, like, with the top 5 teams that are there? Who's your pick to win it? Is it just Chiefs? Do you think that they're another mile ahead of everyone else, or do you think PGG, Order, they may have a chance in these playoffs?
Maybe I think Order or PGG can like beat Chiefs. I think.
Interesting. Well, hopefully
Yeah.
we get to see more of you for next split, and I'm gonna send you off because this will be the last time we get to see Peace play. And
Yeah.
congratulations on winning the last game, Cheon.
Yeah. Thank you.
I want to cry.
I want to cry too.
He seems sad. Now I seem sad, and I'm not a sad person.
I'm a sad person. I'll be the sad person on this couch.
Okay, good. Who's the sad person on that couch? Because you're both smiling.
Oh, I wonder. I wonder, mate. I don't know. Who could it be? Smiley Sam over here or me?
Well, judging the way you're both dressed,
Very
I'd say
cool.
it's Skimmy.
Yeah, you are.
He's been going through his teenage phase
Emo
once
boy
again.
hours.
I'm the golden retriever on the couch today.
Yeah, very good. Very cool, actually.
Where's
Very
my-
cool.
Let's
My
talk
fringe.
about the Dare MVP. Who deserves it for that game from Peace?
Cheon.
Chayang.
Do love to see a Vayne take the 1v2 and do it with no mana and lose out, but he tried. Then had another moment and said, I have mana, but I don't want to try. I just want to scale, win, 4-item GG. Vayne living the best life.
Okay, not an RP, not like a gun crab having probably one of his better games.
What did Gun Crab do? He pressed
He pressed R.
Yeah,
He pressed
R
R
off
really
screen.
good. Did you not
He
see?
lost a 1v1 to the Drake.
We don't talk about those.
We're sending them off on
He
a
was
good
in a
note,
raid,
Rusty.
bro.
Skimmy was like, he must be out of mana, and then at Panda he had a blue.
The Drakes are scary now. We touched on that yesterday.
Yes, they
Either way,
are.
we'll give it to the big man up top, Cheon, today. Playing Vayne top. I know that there's a few people in the audience that are definitely keen to see that one pulled out again in the future. 11, 3, and 5, and 76% KP doing bloody work.
This one's really guns blazing because we do have the pose coming in hot from Cheon, and the performance also extremely well from that Vayne top. And hopefully we do get to see more of this experimenting from the other teams that have already been knocked out of playoffs, because it just makes the whole game so exciting overall.
Well, guess what? We got one perfect split coming out of Gravitas, and we might have another which is coming out of Chiefs, but it depends on the next game. Chiefs and Kanga coming up just after the break. We'll see you after this.
Dashes in with the proposed preemptively expecting
Oh,
that
Dodger.
Kinden. Darshling said, you know what, I'm going to go and just blast code in here. Here's the Requiem from the bottom of the ladder. And they come in looking to try and pat these members low. Appy gets one. He's looking for a second, and he will find it.
Hey, look, menu pog.
Oh, what's this in my hand? Oh, is this a boot? Oh, am I kidding? Is this a cat with a... Oh, it's Ben V building boots on Yumi is what I'm referencing.
What a goose. Why would you do that?
Oh, quite
Why-
an interesting build there,
Maybe
Ben
he's a
V.
roaming Yumi kitty. Did you ever think
What
about
is
that?
this sketch, bro?
I will be checking out for the rest of the game until he sells.
Kitty's been
Still
having
have
fun.
Yes, the fight starts. Kissa using the depth charge against them, knocks them all up back. Big slam. It's been stolen by Goodo. Order have got the Baron. They've removed Lisa. And now can he win the team fight? It's a curse for Peace and Barons. I don't know what...
All host of
Oh
trouble.
no, Ali G as well. Both supports in the area, but both mid laners here as well. The Ignite goes out, and there's the bailout. Ali G looking for that prop, but he won't find a Poltron. Just clutches it there with the Soul Claim, and he also lives a little bit longer. Another reset. Poltron has bought infinite time, and surely now Die will absolutely sweep this fight. That was perfect.
Though, isn't it? Shyvana just ults in lane. It's super annoying. Bot lane hard forcing.
Yeah, Bulldog gets a flash
The
away.
ult.
Whirling
Oh,
death!
Puma.
Drops down into that Sanguine pool. And just out of range for the Tornado to connect to perhaps tease an ult.
Oh, big kick.
Big kick indeed. Straight into the knock-up, straight into the shove! That's a combo!
Responsible and not safe kept. There's only one spot they can be, Kanga being absurdly patient.
Oh my god, what a beautiful Tempted Fate. The laser buffered perfectly, the lightning crash, the kill, and there's the double. Oh, fantastic.